two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me, as always, is Ben Slinger.
I'm here. It's a stinker. It's a stinker today.
It was rather hot today.
It's only going to get hotter the next couple of days.
Yeah.
But
I'm lucky that I've got refrigerative air conditioning in my house.
Yes.
I'm coming off being sick, as you can probably hear in my voice. I've kind of got very love songs and dedication sounds coming out of my
coming out of your face. Right, coming out of your face hole.
Out of my face hole.
Yeah.
Doing its mouth stuff. Yeah.
What's this show, Trevor? What are we doing? Maybe I should say it because you're having a drink. So this is a bit stolen. We're going to do click pitch, classic click pitch. This is a game where we each have a random word generator in front of us. And on the count of 3, 2, 1, click, we're each going to get a word, throw them at each other, catch them, do a little sword fight with them, pretend we're Jedi.
Have a little dance, make a little love.
Get down tonight.
Throw it away.
And
throw it away.
We're going to make a video game. Or at least talk about one.
Talk about one. We are making a video game at the moment.
That's true.
But that's for a jam.
That's for a jam. We are getting a bit more into that. But, we'll talk about that once it's done. Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, click.
Yeah. Habitation.
Lake.
Oh, okay. Lake habitation.
Something about like lake and foresty sort of things. I'm thinking, a peaceful sort of game set at a lake house.
I like the idea of exploring. Well, there can be an element of that. I like the idea of exploring a lake and maybe like going deeper and deeper. Maybe you're like hunting like a Loch Ness style creature in this lake.
Oh, so this is a big lake, like a Eildon sized lake. It's not like it's not a pond sized lake. It's a Eildon sized lake.
Yeah, Eildon is the best that Victoria has to offer when it comes to lakes. Yes, it's a Loch Ness style lake. But I like the idea
obviously you are hunting something in Eildon.
Sure, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be because in Lake Eildon, for sure.
It's set in this small little place in Bonnie Doon.
The Serenity.
Yeah. And so you're there and you're like, I think it opens as you are a kid.
Okay.
And you see this towering.
Maybe this is what the Bunyip actually is.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go for.
Yeah, okay.
You ruined my ending.
Sorry,
that's okay.
Cut that out. You can build up to it.
That's okay. That's
pretend I didn't say it. No.
So it opens up in Search of Bunyip. That's the name of the game now because you've given that away. And so it opens as you're a kid and this huge monster is just towering over the head of you.
Mm.
And then, your character just wakes up and I'm thinking that they're in the car as their partner is driving.
Okay.
And you're going on this trip. You and her
to your old holiday location that you used to go to with your family
holiday location on Lake Eildon.
Yep.
And
you've got the boat on the trailer hitch.
And you're just going to go searching.
Is that your goal? Is that your goal originally, or does that become your goal?
It may become.
Maybe your partner goes missing the first night, and you realize.
Oh, what if you go missing and you actually then take over the partner?
Oh, okay.
And the partner doesn't have all the skills and doesn't have all the equipment, and that's a much better sort of.
That's cool. Okay, so. Yeah, we can do one of those little bait and switch things that games do where you've
got all the skills.
You've got all the skills. You go out that first night. Your partner's asleep. You're like,
on the boat,
you're like, I got to go out and on this boat. I can't sleep. I feel like I've got to go out and see what's up. And you've got all the skills. You can drive this boat really well. You've got like equipment, sonar equipment and all this sort of stuff, diving equipment potentially, even though maybe you don't use that in this first mission. And then you go out on the on the water and you disappear. Like there's a big splash and you're gone. And then, the rest of the game is you're playing the partner and they're having to build up the skills. They're having to buy the equipment.
So they don't have a boat there at the moment.
No,
They've got
they have to get
dinghy, basically.
Yeah.
And they, at one stage, they find the boat and it's been abandoned on this bank, a kilometre down the road or something like that. You could turn this almost into like a third-person-y sort of thing.
I'm picturing it
with
as
a bit of dredge.
Yes, I'm picturing it as a little bit of dredge as you're driving around the boat. But then I'm picturing almost switching to a 2D style thing when you dive. Okay. So it could still be like dive, 3D graphics, but like 2D gameplay essentially as you're going down. Then finding a way through like caves. Because all you want is
up is where the boat is.
Yeah.
Down is where the shit is.
Yeah.
And left and right is
exploration, like finding your way around. Yeah. And so I think what it is then is as you drive around the lake, you're using your tools or whatever to maybe find different things. And then when you go diving, it's like a procedurally generated section of the lake that you can then explore and do. Yeah. And then a little bit of, what was that game that just came out? Feed the Deep.
Feed the Deep?
Yeah.
Good old Luke Musket.
Yeah.
Have you played?
I played the demo. Yeah.
I'm surprised that you haven't because it's on my Steam library.
I know. Yeah. No, I haven't. I haven't gone back to it.
That's good.
Yeah. No, I like that style of game. I think in this case, though, obviously a bit less. Like I think each area will have a bit of a challenge, but it won't necessarily be like a huge maze and that sort of thing because it's about get what I can from this area, move on, find a different part of the lake.
There's something about knowing that, at the start, this is, how good it's going to feel when you get all the equipment and you got, all the bells and whistles and then, having it that be that, you've got a week here and that was night one and he's already gone missing. And now, so you've got a week to sort of get your shit together and,
and then you can do things like narrative stuff where, every night you might have events that happen, like the cops come and maybe they're accusing you of something. And it's like, oh shit, okay, like I've really got to find out what's happened here. I've got to gather some evidence. And then, maybe by day 4, they believe you and then they're helping you or something, or you can get resources from them or.
I think, it's one of the first things that you're going to want to actually do is report it to the local police station saying that my boyfriend has gone missing, blah, blah, blah. And they can come out and do a little bit of a search and rescue, but they don't find shit.
Yeah. No.
And it's sort of like, maybe it's then 6 months later and you're back here again. And
yeah, potentially.
You can do it kind of twice, as in him as a kid. And then it's like, he gets captured. Quick little scene with, scouting parties.
I see what you're saying. And then it's 6 months later that you then come back and you're like, no, they haven't found anything. Like, I'm taking it into my own hands. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. And then
there's something
we'll
about
have all sorts of Easter eggs from the castle in there, of course.
Oh, hell yeah. Like,
you go down to the bottom and
the pool room.
You find a pool table at the bottom and at the bottom of the lake, all the stuff.
You find a Tirana. Like, there's no reason why, And
you find the hole that Daryl dug made its way into one of the caves. Dad, you dug another hole.
And then at one stage, she's doing something on the engine. And it comes up with an F5 error or an F3 error and goes, what the fuck is F3? I love the castle. I need to watch that again.
Yeah,
it's so good.
So good. All right. 3, 2, 1, click. Pigment.
Vet.
Maybe it's just pig. Pig. The pig meant to
go to the vet.
But missed. Okay, vet is interesting.
It is. I don't think I've seen like a vet management sort of game.
Yeah, I feel like it must exist, but I don't think any have like reached that point of public consciousness enough where you and I are aware of them. I'm sure they're a niche game. So that could be an interesting thing. How would you make it interesting enough? Because whenever I think of a game like that now, I end up thinking of just those terrible games that like they play on Let's Game It Out and just break, and it's always just this like asset flip, version of all right, go to the place and click on the thing. I wonder how it could be interesting to do a vet clinic with made up animals in some way, like do a bit of a you have to learn the biology of these creatures as you go, and get to the point of like when this type of creature comes in, you know that you start getting a feel for the different symptoms and different things without us then having to like try to be realistic about it, about like an actual dog's whatever.
So I was thinking maybe like a 2 points vet clinic or something like that. You know, how they've been doing those sort of cozy hospital sort of things where you're building it out.
University. What's the new one they've got? Zoo? Or maybe, I think is it animal based? Anyway, whatever. Yeah, that could be cool. I do find those games get a little bit samey. Like I enjoy them to a degree. It could be cool to have, the different things that can go wrong. Animals escaping and having to like chase them down and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you'd have to find a way to make it different enough from like 2 Point Hospital where it's just, people come in with like wacky diseases and you have to have the one specific room to like deal with that one specific type of disease, which of course is very theme hospital as well. But yeah, I feel like that gets a bit old.
It could be kind of fun to have to, manage, because you've got all like kennels and stuff at the back, like with the cages and that sort of stuff, just in case they need to stay overnight. And so you can't have dogs and cats right next to each other because they're going to go off at each other all bloody night. And
yeah, I would like to see it a little bit lower level potentially. So, the 2 Point Hospital, you don't care about who's who. You get 20 people coming in at a time and they've all got a variety of things, and it's just more about the pressure of like, do they have enough places to sit? Whereas I kind of feel like with a vet thing, it'd maybe be a bit more interesting to see, okay, such and such has brought in their pet, and you have to actually sort of look at the chart in some way or like, triage it to a certain degree. Yeah. And that might be, okay, do we have enough kennels out the back? It can't go close to that other dog, figuring out where to place it and that sort of thing. And then if you don't have enough kennels, it's like, oh shit, okay, we've got to go into building mode or whatever and expand and, spend money. And then you've got the money management thing as well.
I suppose the scary thing is that, unlike with humans, there is the chance of euthanasia, that you're going to have to actually deal with in this game. So,
yeah, well, and again, that's almost why I want to do made-up animals.
Because you don't mind killing, Fluffy the spotted.
Technically, it doesn't make any difference because even if they're dogs, they're still just virtual. But I feel like there's something a bit more visceral when it's a creature you've actually had contact with in real life. And you could also then like magic it away where it's like, we're not euthanizing, we're just enlightening
obliterating
them to a higher level. We're just incinerating them. Like,
so anyway, as we've now realized that Ben doesn't mind killing people with, cannibalism and all this sort of stuff, but killing animals is just too far. Like,
yeah, that's it. It's the PETA model. And I've been waiting for this 400 episodes for an opportunity to talk about PETA. I'm very
You could have done that in the third episode that was called PETA, Bread in the Stale Situation.
Well, but the acronym didn't work out because it's got to be PETA. Anyway, I'm not part of PETA, 3 to 1 click.
So this episode is called Ben is part of PETA. But P-E-T-E-R.
P-E-E-T-A from the Hunger Games. Paternity.
Editorial.
Just like a Mamma Mia situation, but at a newspaper.
How would that work?
I don't know.
3 to 1 click. Fuck that. Like, snack.
Tornado.
Ooh.
Snack tornado. Snacknado.
So this is all about those CC's tornado chips.
Were they just like cone shaped?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember them. I've had similar things in.
You can actually still get them.
Canada,
they're down in Coles right now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
go down the street. No, they've just closed. It's 10:03.
Oh,
come on.
It used to be 24 hours down there.
24 hours there for years.
Snack tornado. Okay.
it's like Sharknado, but it's Snacknado. And it's basically, it's just got a whole heap of vending machines in it. Just deposits of them.
I think we did we do a vending machine, like one where you were placing vending machines at some point?
No, that's the latest game out.
Oh, no, I forgot. No, that's not what I was thinking. No, I was thinking of the one we did with porta potties, actually. I just remember having that in mind. It was. But I was just thinking of like, what if you had to deal with tornadoes as part of that? That'd be worse with porta potties than vending machines.
I don't know. Snacknado does kind of seem interesting. That
how do we make a game out of it?
Well, it's this guy who's really, really hungry, and he's like, well, I can either pay for stuff or I can get it for free from the Snacknado.
From the Snacknado. Yeah, I mean, we could just go classic, like, we're probably worrying too much about it making sense. This could be like a 2D platformer. It's a platformer where it's one of those 2D/3D platformers where it's like it's on the outside of the tornado essentially, or the inside or whatever, but it's like you're going up and around and it's rotating as you go.
Kind of rotating like Fez.
No, more like I mean, I guess a bit like, what was that Mickey Mouse one where it was a 2D one, but it had levels like that. Essentially like around a column, right? Like you're going up and around a column.
Okay. So you pitched this one and I do have another pitch. So we'll.
All right.
Yeah. You keep on going.
Yeah. I mean, it was, it's just a classic 2D platformer collectathon. Like you're jumping, jumping up and on all of the things that have been caught up in this tornado, right? Occasionally coming across vending machines. Then there's enemies that are, that have been pulled up there as well, that are also trying to go for the snacks, whether it's hungry dogs or fucking magpies that are swooping you or whatever. And you're a hungry dude trying to get. This is the sort of game that I would have like drawn out sitting in the library in year 7. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but I started thinking about, okay, the game Quarantine, but you're storm chasing.
Okay.
And just
so what aspect of Quarantine just specifically that you're like in the car?
It's mainly in the car and
weather effects and stuff that like things that affect the car.
Now, what's actually happened is in your van, you had all these vending machines.
Okay.
And while you were in the Snacknado came through and tore up all the took up all the vending machines out of your van.
Yep.
And now you're heading around trying to chase this thing.
Right. Grabbing them as they get like ejected. Collecting
your things down, but it's in that 3D sort of style. You're trying to get ahead of it a little bit and also see where these are being ejected out to, and because you're going to get in trouble if you don't return all the vending machines.
Of course, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Maybe we can combine.
I kind of like the idea of the Snacknado, like having a vengeance sort of thing out on you, because it's like hang on.
I'm hungry.
I deposited all these things out there, in these perfect positions. And they're all
you're saying that it throws them out and they land in a perfect position with lots of foot traffic.
Exactly. It's hooked up into power and everything.
It slides into the outlet. Yeah, that's cool. I'm sort of picturing that then as almost a bit of a third person looking down at your van, like driving around obstacles and stuff as you're chasing this. Like you're seeing the aftermath of the tornado ahead of you, kind of smashing through things and whatever, and then potentially having to stop off and load up a vending machine or whatever.
I do love the idea of being able to just see both. Like, you can see it from down inside the car and you can see, how big this fucking thing is. But then you can sort of flick up to the top as well. Because quarantine was all that.
Yeah, that was the sort of claustrophobic inside thing.
Which is very Pacific Drive as well, which that's cool. I really enjoy.
For sure. I guess I'd just worry about making sure that it wasn't too, like that you had a good enough awareness of the surroundings and that sort of thing. But you could do something to make that work.
You can change your camera. Like, basically, if you want to play it as a top-down, you can play it as a top-down. If you want to play it as an isometric sort of thing.
Yeah. If you want to play it as a platformer, you can get out of the car, jump up into the tornado.
And go around in a
circle. Get your vending machines back that way.
You can do everything.
It's the everything game. As if that's not being...
Because we don't have to actually make it.
Yeah. As if every idea for a video game, when you're, a year 7, it's like, what if there was a game where you could do everything? Like you could, I remember thinking that. I remember being like, I want a game like MechWarrior, except like you can get out of the mech and just like go around everywhere, and then you can build other things, and then you can talk to people, and you can drive a car, and you can buy a house, and it's like no one wants to play that game.
They play it all the time. It's called Grand Theft Auto Online.
It's true.
There's mechs in that now, isn't there?
Probably.
You buy a house and you can talk to people and people can role play in the fucking game.
Yeah, they do. They do.
3 to 1 click.
Yeah. Steadier.
Mythology.
Mythology.
Oh,
mythology. Okay. The mythology of steadiness.
Steady cam.
Steady. Okay. Well, mythology I like. I like coming up with either using I like coming up with a new mythology, like a world where there's a particular mythology that we create, but it's in world. It's the stories that they tell over generations. And then having those stories potentially, come to life in that way. Like Greek mythology is used all over the place. There's a whole, squad of gods and demigods and titans and whatever, but that's been done to death.
Yeah, it has.
No,
it hasn't been done to death. The Roman mythology.
I mean, not quite in the same way, but yeah.
The Egyptian mythology.
Well, this is it.
The Norse mythology.
We make our own.
We're all just,
we come up with it. We have their own sets of gods and whatever. Or it doesn't even have to be gods. The tornado mythology. I mean, I like that idea of discovering that sort of thing. Maybe this is where Steady comes in. Maybe you're making a documentary and interviewing scholars about this particular obscure mythology from, an unknown
the early
place.
1980s.
The 80s, yeah, like the gods of the 80s. The god of denim.
I was sort of thinking...
The god of hairspray.
I was thinking because of, Bitstorm and 8-bit being a video game terminology and all this sort of stuff. I was thinking, okay, our mythology is all based in, the bits.
Mm-hmm.
So effectively you've got the different pantheons of the gods that are the different bit levels.
Like you've got the 8-bit, you've got the 16-bit.
Bit gods, and then you got 32-bit gods, and now you got 64-bit gods as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the game, for some reason, is just like mercenaries, in the fact, you got the different cards and you got to go out and find.
Oh, right.
You remember that?
Yes. I was thinking
360 game or.
I was thinking mercenaries, I was thinking commandos. That's what I was thinking.
Commandos.
That was the difference.
I was thinking mercenaries. I keep on going back to mercenaries because it's like.
That was a good game.
Ooh,
Yeah.
You find these people and then, they've all been given, one of the 52 bosses have been given one of the cards.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do like this idea.
I think like American Gods, how they're here on Earth. Since the 8-bit era and all that sort of stuff, the pantheons of the gods have actually, come to Earth.
So you're finding like the head of the 8-bit gods, Alex Kidd.
Sonic is, just a demigod. Same with Mario.
Yeah, no, they're sort of, they're like created from the true gods.
Yeah. But effectively, this is just pixels. Like that movie Pixels was actually, they were actually gods, and we got it wrong.
I don't remember. It was the premise of that they had taken on the form of something familiar or something like that, or it's that the games had been based on them in the first place. I can't remember.
No, I think it was the fact that they are pixel-based life forms, and then when they came here, and they analyzed our technology, they realized those video games
were like okay.
I mean, it's still a really cool idea to do that sort of thing, and really, I think that movie was kind of cool.
It had some good aspects.
It was just,
I think it was.
There were just some aspects towards. Like that were kind of like, oh, really? You went there with those sort of crass jokes instead of, keeping it,
keeping it classy,
relatively classy. Keep it classy, San Diego.
He could have done better. But no, I mean, I like this idea of even if it's not based on actual properties. No. I like the idea of higher resolution gods, basically, like or higher bit rate or whatever. But and the first ones you run into are. Other because presumably the older gods are lower res. Does that make them more or less powerful though? Is it that more powerful gods came along as, as it built on top of the technology as it was?
What? So the the most impressive, god was the one of the Pong era, and it's just like this one pixel.
Well, it's just usually like the oldest gods in a mythology are the stronger, the ones that have been around for the longest. But
so there's like a paddle and a ball, and it's like the ball is the god, and then the paddle, like paddle 1 and paddle 2. You can tell which one's left and which one's right, but they occasionally come in on, one comes in first and then goes to the left. But that's actually the right paddle.
Well, and eventually,
and you have to be able to tell the difference.
Find the most powerful god of all, which is just the 1-bit god, and it's literally just a light that turns on and off.
It's just a light bulb.
It can only signal on or off to you. I mean, that's one of the difficulties of this is like 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, blah, 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 like when it came to video game consoles was a fairly arbitrary thing, really. Like it was talking about either the number of bytes that it could use to represent a color, or it was talking about the amount of fucking video RAM it had or whatever. Like I think a lot of the times what that actually meant was somewhat arbitrary. Like there's not a definitive thing for what that is. So if you were actually trying to come up with gods around that, I think that would be tricky, but.
Okay.
Should we do one more quick one?
I think we should do one more.
Cab.
Sand.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Beach cab.
A beach cab. Oh, okay. Beach cab, yeah. I was going more like post-apocalyptic, like desert cab. Like desert sort of thing. But, I mean, you could do a whimsical little beach cab game where you're driving people around on across the sand.
Oh, you in,
a bit of crazy
in a quad bike.
Yeah, like
quad bike on a beach, picking up lost kids, getting them back to their families, and
people
try not to run over people.
People want
like,
food delivered from ice
and,
creams delivered from the ice cream cart to where they
are.
I love this. I love this. Skidding out through the in the shallows as the waves come in.
Okay, this is so 100% like a isometric sort of game.
I can see that
because I can see just fanging down the beach and dodging in between families and all this sort of stuff, just trying to get
a little bit of that tilt shift feel almost of not fully, but like the depth of field kind of aspect where you're seeing that interesting effect of the short depth of field. Hooning down, dodging people playing fucking beach cricket and
beach volleyball.
Yeah.
And
building sand, running down sandcastles. You can choose to be an asshole.
Well, that's how you get your multipliers up. Jumping over picnics and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. Definitely doing like jumps over dunes and boardwalks and stuff.
Yeah.
Just going up and down this beach.
Okay, I absolutely love this. So, next thing comes to mind, as you said, going to do the Mr. Whippy van and picking up people's orders and all this sort of stuff. Is there sometimes that is like, oh, this kid has gone missing, and it's like, okay, now you're on the lookout as you're going around and doing all this other stuff. If you see the kid that is dressed in this particular thing, you can pick them up and that's just one of the jobs that you.
That's it. I think you've got, quests essentially, or like, jobs to do at any point. Some of them will be timed. Like if you go and get the Mr. Whippy, then like now you've got 20 seconds to get them back to the person before they melt.
Exactly.
But then, you might have some that are just background jobs essentially. Almost a bit of like Tony Hawk-esque stuff as well. Like you can just have, collect BEACH or whatever. And it'd all be about just the movement,
But if you hit too many people and you piss off too many people,
you get penalized.
They call the cops and you get arrested and you get taken away.
If they can catch you.
Like, if they can catch you. But now, like, unlike a Grand Theft Auto or something like that, where you lose stars because you're only on the beach. This is the only way that you're making money, and your run is you keep doing these jobs and doing as many things until basically the cops catch you.
Right, because it's just inevitable that you'll piss enough people off eventually.
100%.
Well, I could see it as a run-based
and then
thing.
you're banned from the beach. And so you go to another beach, and that's where
you just got to let the heat die down. Each beach has like a heat level. You can't go back there for a while. But I like that because then you could have like, I think each beach is like, handmade with all the nice jumps and turns and different locations and stuff.
You going under a pier at this stage and then,
Yeah, you could put a lot of stuff in there over like fucking rocky areas and dodging big boulders or just going over rock pools and splashing through all this stuff. I can picture it. That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Okay. And that does bring us to the end of tonight, though.
It does. So thank you for joining us this week on Bitstorm. If you'd like to find all of our previous episodes, go to podchaser.com/Bitstorm. You can find them all there. Leave us a review. Let us know what you thought.
Yeah. If you like the song that we play at the end of each episode and the start, that song is called Mount Defiance off of the album Containment Failure by the band Dust. God, I hate being sick because I just sick in my fucking nose. But you can get that song for free on kurodust.bandcamp.com.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And I'm feeling peckish. So I'm heading over to the local Snacknado and I'll be back.